Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and in this video, I'm going to share what is probably one of my favorite gifts that I received this year, and that is this little flashlight lighter combination which Prepper's daughter gave me. Now, I have plenty of flashlights and plenty of lighters, and normally I'm the kind of guy who doesn't need any innovation or change in those kinds of things. But I've been messing around with this thing, and I've come to really like it. And I'm really disappointed that they didn't call it the flashlighter. But I digress. What this is a regular flashlight. It's got a strong, weak, and strobe beam on one end, but on the other end, it's an electronic arc lighter, which means that it's got four little electrodes, which create an electric arc, which creates plasma, which lights things on fire. Now, I've generally been the kind of person who would think this kind of thing is a novelty or a gimmick and probably isn't going to stand the test of time. But I've been won over having tested this thing, and I'm going to go field test it and just use it generally, which I have been. Pretty handy as a flashlight, as flashlights generally are to have around. But it's pretty nice knowing that you've got the lighter on the back. And while I don't necessarily light things on fire very often, having quit smoking a while back, it is pretty nice. And it may be one of the most sustainable forms of ignition that you can find. It may be around long after you've used up all the fuel in your Bix and scraped your ferro rods down to nothing. If you can produce a small trickle of electricity, then you can use this thing. Probably even after the battery has been cycled down to where it won't even hold a charge, you can probably plug it in and get an arc off of just the trickle flow, making this a really good option for preppers and survivalists and sustainable living people. So, a little demonstration for you. Boom, we have ignition. That went quick. Anyway, as you can tell, pretty cool little lighter. It gets the job done, and in fact, it gets a couple jobs done. And as preppers and survivalists or sustainable living individuals, you really can't argue with things which cover multiple purposes and which are sustainable, reusable, and efficient. And that's why I like this thing. Like I said, I'm usually not the kind of person to try new things, but if this will stand the test of time and be a pretty handy tool, I can't say no to it. Which is why I went to Walmart, where I knew I had seen these before, and went ahead and picked some up. Now, as you can see, they were selling these for $28, and I picked this up for $14 a set. I went ahead and picked up four of them because that's half off. And they're actually only selling these individually, the flashlight unit and the carabiner 5000 milliamp hour power bank unit. They're only selling them separately for $15 a piece now, so the price has actually gone up. So I went ahead and actually went back. I went twice to pick up a couple different pairs of them because that's just such a good price, and I don't see me getting these kinds of things for any cheaper in the future. Now, while I just plan on using this one for now, I do plan on sending one of these to Hooples because when he saw this, he said he'd definitely like to get his hands on it and try it. And I think that he will like this kind of thing. He does have his little BioLite stove, which allows him to charge other items up. And while historically I've generally been the kind of person who scoffs at the idea of bringing electronics into the field to rely on them, I grew up with no electronics when camping or backpacking and things like that. And so the idea of adding that when it wasn't necessary to me has generally seemed a little silly. But lately, I have been looking at some of the benefits of having small personal electronic systems available, like small portable solar panel units and a few different accessories which make life easier, because that's the point of technology, is making life better and easier. And there's really no point in trying to go back to caveman times. So while I don't believe in relying on electricity because it does add a point of failure that you don't necessarily need, it is a tool and a technology that cannot be ignored. And for that reason, Things like this are things that I'm going to start taking a look at, because if it makes life better, it would be foolish not to use it. So, pretty fun little thing. I'm loving it. I call it my lightsaber. And I'm looking forward to using it quite a bit. I already use the flashlight quite a bit. It's always handy to have a flashlight with you. And even if you don't smoke, which I don't anymore, even if you don't have any chances to use a lighter, it's handy to have around. And for those of you who don't really have a reason to carry a lighter and so you don't, this would be a good way to have that and make yourself have it, because you will be sore if you end up needing one and not having it, whether or not you smoke cigarettes. So anyways, love to hear your thoughts. Stick around to see this more in the future when I need to light things on fire. And everybody stay safe out there.